Good evening. Thanks for stopping in Block Market Television. Uh, Hit the like, subscribe, help the algorithm grow. I highly appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna talk to y'all tonight about the story that happened down in Lee County. That's in South Carolina. Lee Correctional. If you don't know, one of the most dangerous prisons in the state of South Carolina, if not in the country. 7 inmates lost their life in one day down there, with 11 more stabbed in a riot. Um, you go to Lee County, you gotta be ready. Like Lee County is like well, first off, it's a level 3 yard, so it's max security, full as the extent of barbed wire that you will see. You will see more barbed wire at Lee County than I think any other prison probably in Perry, up in Pels or South Carolina. But at Lee County, when you get there, you usually got a behavior problem, attitude, little nutso, uh, all kind of individuals down there. You got your you got your boys that like to mess with little people. I can't say what they, but y'all know they little people, and you got them down there. Then you got a lot of robbers, murders. I mean, you got all your mix, your drug, you got all your mix, but they keep a little separate unit for them crazy ones like that too. So they down there too, and you can get put on that tier until a bed come open, and if you get put on that tier for that bed to come open, you're gonna have some problems, and that lead me to this story about white boy. We're gonna call him. I'm gonna leave his name out because he didn't have those charges, but he ended up in that section, and he had some problems until they straightened it. Well, he just had some problems. He straightened the problems out. Um, but they put him in this tier with the wrong people, and so he goes to child one day. It's breakfast time, so he goes to child, and white boy Red. That's what we're gonna call him. He goes to child, and he's the third man in line. And at Lee County, they got a policy that at least when I was there, they had a policy that when, say that when you file in the kitchen for child, and right before you step up to get your plate, it's a line. And only one person can cross this line and go get their tray at a time. So at this time of day, this breakfast, white boy Red, he third man in line. It's two dudes from Charleston that's in front of him. Now, the only reason why I'm going to specify that it was two dudes in Charleston is because some dudes from Columbia came in about 4, 5, maybe 6 deep, coming in like they Bogart and something, but they didn't jump in front of two dudes that was next in line to get their trade. They chose white boy Red to get in front of. So when they got in front of white boy Red, and it was probably smarter they didn't choose the two dudes from Charleston, because the way that the prison system set up in South Carolina is that people roll. I mean, we got gangs, but people don't actually. I'm not saying that they don't have gangs and gangs don't function, but it's also about where you from. So, and you got Charleston, Beaufort, Goose Creek, Moncks Corner, Somerville, cities and towns like that band together. And you got Columbia, Manning, Sumter, Camden, Lexington, West Columbia. They're band together. Then you got the upstate, which would be like Spartanburg, Florence. I mean, not Florence, Spartanburg, Greenville, Greenwood, Anderson, Lawrence. They're Florence together. And then in the PD area, that's where you got Florence, the Myrtle Beach, Georgetown, Lake City, all of them band together. So it's like 4 regions that they got to stick together because this is where you from. That's just how it's set up in the state of South Carolina during time. Uh, but and you got Rock Hill, Lancaster in them way too. Can't leave them out too because they got their own little way, like Rock Hill, Lancaster, Chester, Kershaw, all the ones up by North Carolina on that end. They like band together and stick together. So it's different. Shout out to York County, Rock Hill, Fort Mill. I did 2 years up there when I did the 10. So White Boy Red, he in line. Like I say, the dudes from Columbia, they jumped the line. They didn't actually jump him. They jumped the line. So as the two dudes from Charleston, one by one, like I said, they file out. So when the next black guy that was online got ready to go through, white boy Red said, nah. In his mind, he didn't say nothing verbally, but he got out of line, jumped right back in front of the black dude, and looked back at all of them like, what? Like, y'all ain't doing this to me. Like, I ain't no punk. Y'all ain't jumping me. Ain't nobody taking my spot. And that's the look he gave him, like, straight up, like, let him know, like, so what? Like, I don't care. Then he had just got there, and he hadn't been there for probably, like, 2, 3 weeks. Like I said, they had him in the wrong wing. So that's probably another reason why they chose him. Because people with those type of stipulations and stuff, you have a lot of problems. Then him being a white guy, which automatically adds more problems, especially when you're on the yard like Lee County, because like I say, this is a very violent yard. Like very violent. Like you have the most stabbings, the most robberies, like it's a Lee County stay locked down out of a year. Lee County gonna stay locked down 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Sometimes you go in that room for so long you forget. You just see seasons passing before you come back out. They got Meals on Wheels where they bring it to your door. You ain't even coming out the room for nothing. 3 times a week. You might get, they're supposed to give you a shower 3 times a week, but you might get lucky and get it twice. You ain't getting it 3 times. That's dead. But you might get lucky and get it twice. Okay. But back to the story about White Boy Red. So now we back in the kitchen, like I say. And he get his tray, sit down, start eating food. But the kitchen in Lee County is open, so everybody really could see everything. So everybody seen this white guy just play these about 5, 6 black dudes from Columbia. He got back in line, gave him a look like, hey, not me. I ain't having it. That was that. So the black dudes, they come through the line and they sit down and they eat. And they eating fast. And we watching. And usually when you go to the kitchen, you a lollygag, because like I said, Lee County, you stay in your room a lot. So you lollygag and play around and might see some dudes because they got 2 yards that's connected. So you might see some dudes from the other yard that you ain't seen your homeboy. So you're trying to lollygag and play around in the kitchen and burn some time. But these dudes, they didn't. They just ate and got right on out of there. So we leaving. And as we leaving, me and my homies, Yogi, Rip, Junebug, we walking back. White Boy Red, he walking in the same line like we. So when you go into the dorm in Lee County, at this time we was in Kershaw. So when you going in the dorm, you got the doors green. They say don't go behind them green doors. That's the thing they joke about. Anyway, when you go in the door, you got a foyer, then you got like a salad port area. So it was like 3 of the dudes, maybe 4, that was in line. When White Boy Red came through the door, man, they commenced and got on his ass. Excuse me. But I'm talking about, man, they got on him. Like it wasn't no game, it wasn't no fun. They beat him. Right? I'm talking about they beat him. So what he do after he get his beating, like a soldier, I give him credit. This one he earned his bones. Cause he didn't tell. He went upstairs, got in the bed, and laid down. All day. We ain't see him come out that room no more that day. Next day though, breakfast time. He like got behind the dudes that just jumped him, but not no way. He got like okay, say we walking in line, because you got to walk in a straight line. Like every man got to file in and walk in a straight line on the yard. And COs all on the other side of where you walking at. Like this, like I say, every 10, 15 steps is another CO just standing there. Because like I say, it's a violent yard. So they going in the kitchen, but he probably like 5, 6 people behind him. So when the first dude that jumped on the day before got ready to get his tray, he got out of line, walked straight up in front of him, got in front of him, looked back at him the same way like he did the day before. Like, you not me, but only this time the game looked like, yeah, y'all did what y'all did, but still, I ain't worrying about y'all. Like, ain't nothing y'all could do. Like, he was on that type of time. Like, so what? Ain't nothing y'all could do. So Like y'all did it yesterday, ain't nothing y'all could do. So we go down and sit. But only this time, he eat fast. So we all going back to the dorm. So when we go back to the dorm, he's standing in the same foyer that he just got beat up in the day before. The first one of them dudes that came in the door, he beat him in the head so bad with that can. So I don't know if it was jack, man, roast beef, chili bean. It had to been chili bean because he was straight. I'm talking about, man, when I say he he beat him to the point that the rest of the dudes was more stunned. They didn't even help him. Like, I ain't even understand. It's like y'all jumped him yesterday, but he had this can and he was working his can. So I'm talking, he had it wrapped. He was boom, 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 boom. I'm talking, he was working that can. When I say, well, ooh, he was working that can so good, right? Guess what he did though at that? He went and got right back in the bed. Yo, white boy, red went and got back in the bed, right? So now it's child time again. All during that day, the Columbia dudes, they talking about what they gonna do, what they gonna do, what they gonna do to him. He, like I say, we stay in our room so much that we came off a child, but we back in the room. So that's why they really couldn't do. You only got this little time, so that's why they couldn't like jump on or whatever, like right then. Plus, he was up on the other top. Well, like I say, the people with the messed up charges that he was up there, and you really can't even go up there like their rooms are kind of protected because like they got like their rooms are kind of protected. Like they was on the top rock over here, and you really couldn't, if you wouldn't assign the rooms, you really couldn't go up there because they think that you're going to do something to them. And if you get caught up there, it's like a violation. But we was already stayed locked. I say it stayed locked down so much that at this time on this day we was just going to child and back in the dorm. So and back behind the door, to be honest. So, like I said, all day they talking about what they gonna do, what they gonna do. So now, when the next day we come out, cause he ain't come back out no more that day. He stayed in the room. He ain't even come back out. He stayed in the room. He was still beat up from the day before. Like he stayed in the room. So the next day when he come out, he walking the child, but the dude who beat up now, who got beat with this can, but ain't nobody tell. I give all them credit. They soldiered up. Ain't nobody tell. Ain't nobody. Everybody just laid down, just took it like, man. But perfect time again. What you think he do again today? He wait. He walk back up the line. Jump in front of the dude from Columbia again. Look back. Same stuff. Only this time, the dudes from Columbia or him, nobody did nothing. That was the end of it. Then that's was when he really earned his bones or his stripes. And I guess what really made him earn his bone and stripe more than him just being a white guy is he wasn't a typical prison white guy. Like he wasn't in there trying to be black. Cause them the worst ones that you gotta really worry about. When you run across a white boy that's trying to be black in prison, boy, he will do something, boy. I'm talking about he's the mule, he's suitcasing, he holding the wine, he'll stab you, he'll swing on you first, and sometimes the people that he do this for ride with him too, but usually he the crash dummy. White boy red one like that. Then he wasn't a white boy that was all tatted up and wanted to be crazy. And he wasn't like he wasn't a white boy that like I say he was fresh getting there too. Then he came in on a 3 running wild with a 15. And if you don't know what that means, it means that he had a 3-year sentence that he had to do first, then start on the 15. So his mind wasn't really too together because he couldn't even believe he was there, to be honest. But the moral of the story is, first of all, don't go to prison. That's the moral of the story. Like anybody that brags about how much time they did in prison, turn around and tell them I was free. Like people wear prison like it's a badge of honor. None of my stories is to make prison sound glorifiable. It's to let you know of all the stuff that could happen to you. I was just one of, I guess, lucky and blessed one that none of this stuff happened to me. I guess it was my demeanor, my characteristic. Like, I gave respect and I got respect. So I guess, I'm not saying I didn't have no incidents, because I had over doing all these years I did in prison. I did over 13 some years in prison. So of course I had some incidents, but like, the moral of the story, stay free. Hit the like, subscribe, help me grow, comment, you know, interact with me. I interact back. Thank y'all for stopping in.